What a weekend for Duke men's basketball. They win at Boston College, a decisive victory for the Blue Devils.
You are Locked On Blue Devils, your daily podcast on the Duke Blue Devils. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome on into another episode of the Locked On Blue Devils podcast. My name is JJ Jackson. So great to have you here with us on Monday, January 20th, 2025. Locked On Blue Devils is your one-stop shop where we discuss everything going on in the life of Duke athletics, and we talk a whole lot about Duke basketball each and every day, talking all things about Jon Scheyer's program as the Blue Devils pick up yet another win over the weekend. They defeat Boston College by 25 on the road. Their dominance through the ACC continues. We'll break it all down with our good pal Jordan Mann from the Big J and Little J show coming up here on today's episode. If you have not done so already, please be sure to follow and subscribe to Locked On Blue Devils for free, wherever it is that you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and written review. Also, check us out each and every day on YouTube. Be a part of our everyday YouTube community. I love seeing the comments down below of who those everydayers are. You've been with us, and we're getting closer to 3,000 subscribers, so thank you for your support. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Share this video with your friends, and so much more. So, without further ado, let's bring him on into the program. The aforementioned J-Man back with us once again. We're talking about a Duke basketball victory, and man, it's so good to see you here again, my friend.
Yeah, it's good to be back, JJ. I was suspended from this show for a couple weeks. JJ obviously was out of town, but it feels great to be back on a Monday, JJ. So I'm happy to be here chopping it up. And again, still talking about Duke basketball in the win column. I think I was on, they won. They're still on this winning streak. Granted, not the best competition with Miami and Boston College, but there's some trial and tribulations that we'll get into that I still have a little concerns about with Duke. But you know what? 16-2 and coming off another 20-plus point win in ACC, I'll take it.
Yeah, it's really hard to nitpick and complain right now when you're looking at other conferences across America that you're seeing kind of the disparity. And maybe in the ACC we're seeing that as well with some results from over the weekend that we'll get to a little bit later. But for Duke, they keep taking care of business. And so in so many ways, it's hard to complain about any deficiencies that you might see within this team itself. Cooper Flagg leads the way once again, America's finest player, leading what we would argue is America's finest team, and they're back in the win column once again. Here today on this Monday, we see Duke move up one more spot to number 2 in the rankings after Iowa State lost this past week to West Virginia. Auburn becomes the unanimous number 1 team in America for the first time in their school history, and Duke moves up one more spot to number 2. What Duke is doing, though, man, it's awesome to watch, and it's really fun to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, everybody is knowing their role really well, and like I said, 20-plus point win. Cooper Flagg continues to shoot the ball efficiently. Like, he was putting up 20-plus points in November and December, but they were 7 of 19 games, 7 of 21. He'd have 26. Now he's shooting above 500 or 50% in a game, 9 of 14 after a chance of overrated early in the game. He really quieted the crowd very quickly, minus the main crowd that came down the 3.5-hour drive. He had 28 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and 2 blocks, and 1 T. Got the 1 technical foul for saying, "Give me that, fill in the blank," which is the most common phrase in college basketball. And I clipped it up on my Twitter account that he said it. And fine, if you're going to set the tone for saying there's no tolerance for somebody saying, "Give me that, fill in the blank," then you can't let the next possession, the following possession, Boston College does the same exact thing to the same referee. Like, referees underneath the basket, Isaiah Evans gets blocked. Boston College says, "Give me that, fill in the blank," and there's no call. And I know I'm nitpicking a 25-point win, but that's where officiating, as a former coach, pisses me off. You have set the tone for the game.
Yeah.
Zero tolerance for saying that. And then the following play, the same exact thing happens, and there's a no call.
Yeah, we don't love that double standard, man. What's going on there?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's not I'm not going to say it's an anti-Duke thing. This is just me and my rivalry with referees and my whole existence. And so that is something that infuriates me to no end. But I'm glad, again, though the game was already in doubt for Boston College when that technical happened against Cooper Flagg. I love to see Cooper and the rest of the team feed off of that. Like, he got up, and then I think he goes down and hits the three. Isaiah Evans is doing the 3-point celebration, covering his face, and Paulson College calls a timeout, and Duke's just hyping up the crowd. So you love to see the villain arc that is forming with Duke on the road. Without a doubt.
I mean, it's a game in which they fell behind early in the first half. Duke was down 4 or 5 points for a little while. It took a while to get their footing going, and then they started to see shots fall. They have a 6-point lead at halftime, and they're able to extend it throughout the course of that second half. I mean, a slower start for the Blue Devils after, Jordan, we'd been on a couple of games where it's like, oh, man, if you miss tip-off, all of a sudden, Duke's already up 12 points within the blink of an eye.
Yeah, look, it's adversity that Duke is battling with Malik Brown being out. Like, that is the one thing that Duke is going to have to continue to do as they play Wake Forest this upcoming Saturday, is that's my major concern. Like, Duke is talented. Duke is the tallest team in the country, but the 5 position is the thinnest. And Malawash, and you saw that happen. Malawash picked up his 4th at the 16-minute mark on the road, and that game was a 9 to 10 point game, and you're taking out your starting 5 to put in Ngongba again, Pat Ngongba, who had 4 fouls in the game as well. And if he's not going to go, then you have Mason Gillis. So now it's just like, this is adversity that Duke has to figure out, because as good as Malawash has been all year, he's still averaging like 26 minutes a game. So he's not built for 32-plus minutes. He just is not in the cards. And so Duke's going to have to really spot fill the extra minutes that Malik Brown could give them as they continue to win in conference play.
And other guys continue to step up. To your point, it's been awesome for Mason Gillis out there these last few weeks. Pat Gomba's getting more and more comfortable. Despite foul trouble, it still is awesome to see Duke get Malawash the ball in the post and watch him just try to rip the rim off every single possession. Unbelievable every time he gets it in that area, because, look, that's 2 points. And for a while, it felt like we were really struggling to get him his looks. Now that's not been the case. And early on in that game, when Duke did fall behind a little bit early, I'm thinking a couple of really early first half sets where next thing you know, Malawash has it right underneath and it's an easy dunk.
Yeah, that is – we don't take those for granted, having a 7-2 guy that you can get easy buckets with. You go high, low, there's a switch, you throw over the top, and he just doesn't have to jump. He's on his tippy toes and he flushes it. I will never take that for granted as a Duke fan, that you have a 7-2 guy you can throw up and go get it. Also, I do want to give Pat Ngongba his flowers. He had 4 points and 4 rebounds. I know he had 4 fouls, but the 2 buckets that he scored, man, he has the softest hands for a big man. Like, he will be really good in his career at Duke. Now, this year, I'm not so sure, but the following year, sophomore year, like, this is a guy that every time I watch him catch a ball in traffic or around the rim, he has great feet and great hands. And so I'm excited to see how he can build off of what we've seen so far for his rest of his career at Duke. But yeah, it's not great when Malawash plays 17 minutes and Ngongba was playing 14, because that's okay if it's Malik Brown, but that's not the type of minutes that you want to overextend to Pat Ngongba, who John Shire said earlier in this year wasn't expected to contribute right away in his freshman season.
And now we've got the injuries that have played a part into why he's getting more playing time. And I do agree with you. He's going to be a great player throughout his time at Duke. The greater things we will see are likely in the years to come. But there's a lot of ball left to be played this season, so plenty of more opportunities for Big Pat along the way. What about Tyrese Proctor? He steps up big time for the Blue Devils. Isaiah Evans knocks down several shots for Duke as well. We'll continue to talk about their performance and more after we take this first break here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. All right, today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the place to get real money sports action. With over 10 million members and billions in winnings, Prize Picks has changed the game in daily fantasy sports. Whether it's the playoffs or regular season, Prize Picks has made it easier than ever to win big while enjoying all that football action. Now it's playoff time, and there's no better way to get in on the action than with Prize Picks. So here's how it works. You simply pick more or less on at least 2 players, and if your picks hit, you could win up to $1,000 times your cash. Yeah, that's right, 1,000 times your money just by picking a few simple picks. All of a sudden, you're going to win so much with Prize Picks. I love all the hot takes this season, and this week on Prize Picks, certainly getting excited about the conference championship games that are going to be coming up this Sunday. Right now, I'm looking at Josh Allen for more than 250 passing yards, and another big day coming for Travis Kelce with more than 70 receiving yards. It's fun to predict and easy to play. Plus, with Prize Picks Flex Play, you can still double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. And with the app, you get your winnings fast, sometimes in as little as 15 minutes. Ready to run your game this football season? Download the app today and use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 off instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's right, $50 just for playing. Code LOCKEDONCollege. Don't wait. Take your game to the next level with Prize Picks. Prize Picks, run your game. Okay, so Duke's back in the win column. They knock off Boston College by 25. Duke also scores 88 points within the game itself. The offense continues to click. They had 40 of them in the first half from start to finish. I mean, we were clicking on all cylinders in so many ways. I know it took a little bit out of the gates to get back even with Boston College, but then you look at some of those advanced metrics and, man, it's getting way more exciting to watch Duke play basketball than it was for some of those first few games, J-Man.
Oh, yeah, the offense, man, is clicking. Another game where Duke had more, like over 50% of assists to field goals made. They had, as a team, 18 assists to 30 makes. So very good success right there with 8 turnovers only. So a positive assist turnover ratio as a team, doubled up the turnovers, and just they're clicking. And the one concern that I had, again, with Malik Brown going down is, can the bench step up? Because that's one thing a couple games ago, Duke went through a 2 or 3 game stretch where the bench was not given anything. And that was a major concern because, look, Duke can go 8 deep, but when they're having 2 points from the bench outside of Mason Gillis has been fantastic since the calendar flipped over 2025. Yeah. Well, Isaiah Evans stepped up. He scored, I think, 8 or 9 against Miami, and then he had 16 against Boston College in 21 minutes. I mean, you scored 16 points in 21 minutes, flamethrower, 5 of 11 and 4 of 9 from 3. Like, that's just what he comes in to do. And he doesn't come in to pass or rebound. He did have 1 assist, but 16 points, 1 rebound and no assist, or 0 rebounds and 1 assist. That's the type of effort we need to see for the guys coming off the bench.
And Isaiah Evans, one of those guys who we're getting to see more and more as of late. Obviously, he had the big breakout game against Auburn. There had been a few games turning the calendar into 2025, as you're talking about there, where it felt like the shots weren't necessarily falling for Slim. And then in that Miami game, you see a couple go through, and then we've got another big one here for him where he's able to score those 16 points and knock down 4 more three-point shots. Duke as a team, just 8 3-pointers on the day, 8 of 24, 33%. Much, cooler, lesser numbers than we've seen throughout the course of this winning streak, and yet they still won by 25. I mean, it's insane what Duke is doing right now. And then 3 more of those makes from three-point range come from Tyrese Proctor, who, after going scoreless in his last outing, comes back with 20 points, 3 of 7 from three-point range.
Yeah, Tyrese Proctor had a quiet last couple of games. He had 3 total points against Notre Dame and Miami. He laid a goose egg against Miami and came back with 20 points. And so that shows how well Duke is clicking on all cylinders. Duke made 8 threes in this game and almost scored 90 points. He had 88 points and only hit 8 threes. Knipple had 0 points. So, this offense is clicking when they're not shooting the 3 ball much, or one of the starting 5 is not scoring at all, as we saw against Miami and now Boston College. And that is a scary recipe for a team that has been defensive-minded first since day 1 of this season.
Yep.
He's been adamant. He's been up front too. Hey, the defense is how the offense will get the offense going as the season goes along. And guess what, JJ? The offense is going along and it's clicking very well. And the sky is the limit for this team. And a big test is coming up this weekend, but the offense is clicking when it needs to right now in 2025.
Yeah, no midweek game for Duke. They've got the full week off. They've got the bye within the ACC schedule for their midweek game, but then they will be at Wake Forest coming up this weekend, and we'll have more on that throughout the course of the week. But speaking more to this offense and what the Blue Devils have been able to do as of late, you've got Tyrese Proctor, who comes back from going scoreless. Now we have a game in which Duke wins by 25. Duke wins and scores 88 points in a game. And, J-Man, their second leading scorer, Con Knipple, doesn't score anything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. It's just like you can take out Knipple And then, all right, Tyrese Proctor will step up. You can take out Tyrese Proctor, Con Knippel will step up. You can take Cooper Flagg out, and then it's a group effort, and Isaiah Evans is going to have 15 off the bench. It is just, where do you want to get killed at? Because Duke will kill you. Whether you take one thing away, they'll go with the second option. If you take the second option away, they have a third option. Like this team, though they play normally 8 guys, they are deep and can get instant offense from about 5 guys on the team. And we've seen it all year. And again, you saw it against Boston College. Granted, again, Boston College is nothing to write home about, but an ACC road win, a conference road win is a conference road win. And to win by 25 in a game where you were sluggish through the whole first half, dealt with foul trouble early in the second half, it just shows that this was probably like a B- game for this team. And they won by 25 points, almost scored 90.
Yeah, you've got to be able to find a way to take everybody out of the game, and that's just really difficult to do. Like we talked about Cooper Flagg early, we haven't been talking about him as of late in this part of the conversation because there's so much focus on what the backcourt of Duke can do. And when you've got guys like Proctor and Knippel and Evans who are able to make plays happen, I still have been pleased with Caleb Foster over the last few games, although in some ways he's not looking for his shot as much. But speaking to Proctor specifically, what he's doing as well, we talk about finding the big men down low and attacking the rim in so many ways. How about his line here, going 7 of 12 from the floor, 3 of 7 from three-point range? That means there are 4 two-point field goals for Proctor. It's a season-high 7 total shots made from the floor and a season-high 4 two-point makes. Before Saturday, the most he had made all season was just 2. He was looking for some of those easier shots too, J-Man.
Yeah, that's a good sign. And Proctor's done a really good job this year of picking his spots with this team. He's not forcing it a lot. And that's also, you can see that with the last 2 box scores where he had 3 points and 0 points. Like how you go 0 and 0 for against Miami, who's the worst defense in the country. But he wasn't really picking a spot. He wasn't trying to force the issue. He was spreading the rock around, and then he shot a couple open threes and he missed. And so what? He had a 0 burger, but he played fine. He played a good floor game. And now he's picked his spots against a Boston College team, and he had 20. Like the guy has been an lethal catch and shoot guy for Duke from 3. Like you said, 3 of 7. And Tyrese Proctor grew some bunnies in the offseason, and all of a sudden is shattering his previous dunk record, which he had like 3 last year. He lost to Ryan Young in a head-to-head of dunks in a season, and he matched it in 1 game this season. So the guy clearly has a different mode or a different swagger about him that's going to help Duke in these road environments, and you're seeing it, like I said, against Boston College.
It's awesome to see. We promote all things Tyrese Proctor on this show. Big fans of the Aussie, and want all these good things to continue for him. So Duke, again, wins by 25. They knock off Boston College. They've got Wake Forest coming up next, and it truly is becoming the year of Cooper Flagg. We love that, and we'll tell you a little bit more about that specifically after we take one more break here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. All right, Locked On Blue Devils here today is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. From the first whistle to the final drive, FanDuel makes the playoffs even more exciting. We're down to just 4 teams left competing for the Super Bowl. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win your first bet. That's $300 to keep the action going. The FanDuel app is easy to navigate, and the variety of bets keeps every game exciting. Plus, when you win, you get paid instantly. No waiting around for your winnings. Whether you're betting on your favorite team or just looking to add some extra excitement to the playoffs, FanDuel has you covered. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today and get started with $300 in bonus bets. That's FanDuel.com. Make this playoff season unforgettable with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL and a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Looking at FanDuel right now, we've got the college football national championship tonight. It's the Ohio State Buckeyes favored by 8.5 points over Notre Dame. Former Duke quarterback Riley Leonard leading Notre Dame, trying to win the national championship later today. Again, FanDuel is a proud sponsor of Locked On Blue Devils. Okay, J-Man's back with us. We're talking Duke basketball. We're talking about Cooper Flagg and the crazy run that he's been on as of late. Just adding to his numbers. He's got the big dunk against Pitt. Then he goes off for 42 against Notre Dame. Now he's going to play at Boston College, the closest venue that Duke will play to his home state of Maine all season long. His parents, there's the story out there about buying season tickets for Boston College basketball this year because it was cheaper than just getting an individual ticket to see Duke play, which is nuts. And they were able to wisely turn that into kind of a home flavor for the Flagg family with so many of them in attendance. And Cooper goes off for 28 points.
Yeah, dude, he's just being efficient since the calendar, I guess technically the Virginia Tech game on New Year's Eve. Since then, he's been lights out. He's shot over 50% in 6 of the 7 games or 5 of the 6 games. And the one that he didn't shoot 50% or better was Miami. He was 5 of 11, 2 of 5 from 3, had 13, 7, and 6 of the stat sheet. Like the dude was just going out there having cardio in 28 minutes, not really looking for a shot, and had 13, 7, and 6. I have not seen a Duke player just take over a game this effortlessly. And that's not a knock on all the other former greats. I get it. But this dude is doing things like I saw a Boston College blogger tweet that Cooper Flagg didn't move him in the game against Boston College. Cooper Flagg has that effect to where he cruises to a stat line, and you look at the stats, especially as a coach on the bench, like, damn, he has 28 against us? I swear he had like 12, and that's how he kills you. He kills you by 1,000 cuts. He has 28, 5, and 4. And then, oh, by the way, 2 blocks and 2 steals. JJ continues to lead Duke in every statistical category, and Duke's the number 2 team in the country. And it works. It's working.
Let's keep it going. I mean, all these performances are helping Duke win these games, and Cooper Flagg is, again, proving why he's going to be the top pick in the NBA draft. Well on his way to being the conference freshman of the year, well on his way in so many ways to being the ACC player of the year. And then beyond that, hoping to win that National Player of the Year award. Seems like it's him and Johni Broome from Auburn that are getting all the love. Johni Broome out right now for the number 1 team in America. And so we will see if Cooper Flagg can continue to take advantage of this runway. But also you don't want to say, hey, just because Johni Broome is hurt, that's why Cooper Flagg is on his way possibly to winning this award. If we look at our friends over at FanDuel, Cooper Flagg is now the clear favorite to win the Naismith Award at the end of the season. Let's leave him at the other, contender out of this. It's because Cooper's been playing so well that he's earned that recognition.
Yeah, Cooper became the favorite, JJ, against Notre Dame, that 42-point performance and 6 rebounds, 7 assists. He became the favorite immediately after that game. It just happened to be later that evening, Johni Broome goes down with an ankle injury to really solidify the odds. But Cooper Flagg in Vegas, he took over that lead immediately after that Notre Dame game. So, like you said, yeah, like it's a shame what happened to Johni Broome because that sucks. Yeah. But Cooper's playing out of his mind right now. And while you're talking, I looked, as I said, 5 out of the last 6 games, shooting 50% or better from the field. The previous 12 games of this season, JJ, that's only happened twice. In 2 of the 12 games, he had a 50% shooting percentage or better. And now
he's scary, man.
Now he's done that 5 out of 6 games, and his worst being a 5-11 stint against Miami. So, like, the dude it's clicking. And I've said on this show, every Shire team gets better and better through the year. You're seeing it happen with this team. It's like, how can this team get any better? Shire's going to find a way, and right now it's been offensively, and I'm sure defensively will hit another notch as well when Malik Brown comes back.
They hate us because they ain't us, J-Man. And I'm so fired up and glad that we're a part of the Duke world, man. I wouldn't want to be on the outside, but, man, I'm such a big fan of the Blue Devil propaganda that's always going on out there. And I hope that what we do with this program is add to it in so many ways. But speaking more to this year of Cooper Flagg, how about before the game even happens on Friday, a Saturday game where Duke knocks off Boston College? Friday night, the Blue Devils just so happen to be in town. The Celtics are playing the Magic, 2 of the top teams this season in the Eastern Conference. And ESPN's so fascinated that Duke basketball is there. The number 1 pick is there. We're watching Cooper Flagg eat some chicken tenders from the box that the Blue Devils are at. I can only imagine how much this is just fueling to the hate of the outsiders that aren't a part of this Duke world and not loving the fact that, yeah, you've got Tatum and Paolo Banchero starring on the basketball floor, and then here's their little bro within the Brotherhood world eating some chicken tenders with his teammates watching this game play out.
It's funny you say that, JJ, because last episode of the Big J and Little J show, I asked Connor this question, like, when's the last time you've seen, like, I feel like everybody likes Cooper Flagg. Like he has the prototypical white boy swagger, plays for Duke, the best player. He has all the stereotype, but everybody loves him right now. So when's the turning point where you said, like, I follow No Context College Basketball. They'll post a graphic of Cooper Flagg during a Kentucky game or a UNC game. Like, you got some of those people riled up for that.
Yeah.
But when do we see the majority of like a Cooper Flagg fatigue like we saw with Zion in 2019? I thought we were going to see it right away because his first points were free throws, and SportsCenter tweeted first career points for Cooper Flagg, and it was a free throw line. I thought that was going to be his starting point, but I don't know. I think it has to be the UNC game, the first UNC game, or the Duke UNC game at UNC. He's going to have like a big moment, and he's going to be talking crap, and that's where you're going to see like social media divide. And I'm looking forward to that, but it feels weird. He's so good, and he's not really America's villain. I think it's Dan Hurley.
Yeah, that's probably right. But I'm just, with what we're doing right now, you see, we're setting ourselves up for this because there is going to be that moment where those UNC games haven't been played, and the next thing you know, the images of Cooper Flagg eating chicken tenders at a basketball game are going to come. Like, that's resurfacing. If you didn't see it this weekend, just pay attention to social media. I'm not going to do any part in throwing that back out there, but that will come back up. People are going to be like, look at this guy. He's all over ESPN. They can't stop talking about him. And it's like, bro, that was several weeks ago.
Yeah, look, I can see that point, and I know that's going to happen. Inevitably,
he hadn't played a college basketball game, and he was on Team USA. Like, we're going to find more things to add to this.
Yeah, we're going to see a highlight reel of just him doing the simplest things, and it's going to be like the Caitlin Clark effect of like, oh my God. Like, could you imagine if he was in Taylor Swift's booth this past weekend with Caitlin Clark? Yeah, that's how you divide the country right there. Is beside Caitlin Clark and Taylor Swift Chiefs game. We need to make that happen if they make the Super Bowl. Just give them an overnight charter flight.
Yeah, send them up there.
You're right. He's Cooper Flagg. Do it.
Duke plays at Clemson the Saturday before Super Bowl Sunday. So we'll head out from the South Carolina to New Orleans down there for the Super Bowl and let him be a part of the festivities.
Look, I know the Swifties love this show, JJ. So all you Swifties out there, just go ahead and forward this message to Taylor Swift to get Cooper Flagg on a private Super Bowl.
Trust me, Taylor. It's good for your brand. This guy is good for your brand.
He's bigger than Taylor Swift. I can't wait for my Twitter mentions now, JJ. But no, that would be great. That'd be iconic. That's how you divide the nation right there. You put Cooper Flagg in Taylor Swift's box. Paul.
Oh man, I love it. All right, let's kind of wind down with this. Duke will play Wake Forest this upcoming weekend, so no action in the midweek here. But looking across the rest of the ACC, shout out to the Louisville Cardinals, J-Man. They finally join us. We've got another ACC team ranked in the top 25. They come in at number 25. So thank you, Louisville, for helping us out a little bit. And how about Jalen Blakes, man? The former Duke Blue Devil, now Stanford Cardinal. He's got his Duke degree. He's a part of the Brotherhood forever. He's playing for Stanford. They're in the Smith Center. And, he hits the game-winning bucket. UNC lost at home to Stanford. They'd been 13-0 prior to that game against Stanford, and now they've lost for the first time, thanks to the Duke alum, Jalen Blakes.
Yeah, that's got to sting. I mean, it's already been a tough year for UNC. It looked like they're turning a corner, and then Jalen Blakes, out of all people, comes in your house and gets a 20-piece on you in the game-winning shot. And shout out to the Blakes family. I think his sister hit a game winner as well. So in the same day or in 24 hours.
Yeah.
So hell of a weekend for the Blakes over there. But UNC, man, we'll talk more about them another time. I still am more bullish on them than most people just because of N. Jackson. But Louisville, Pat Kelsey, the dude has a motor, and you're seeing his team adopt his personality for better or for worse, but it's turning into wins for Louisville.
All right, Duke will be back in action against Wake Forest this upcoming weekend. J-Man, we'll have plenty of more conversations with you in the days and weeks to come. Tell people about the Big J and Little J show and other ways that they can support you.
Yeah, follow me on Twitter, J-Man's Takes. You can find all tweets, film breakdowns on my Twitter account and my YouTube at J-Man_, Big J Little J Show on Apple and Spotify. And lastly, I am working on, or it's up now, YouTube channel called College Basketball Addiction, where I cover all college basketball landscape, talk Duke as well. So like and subscribe to that channel, and like to subscribe to my YouTube channel at jman_. So JJ, thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. We'll see you again soon. That's J-Man. He's joining us here on today's episode of Locked On Blue Devils. Duke's back in the win column. We love it. Cooper Flagg, you deserve to be all over the headlines, my friend. We'll take on Wake Forest a little bit later this weekend. That'll do it for today's show. As always, go Duke. I'll talk to you tomorrow. My name is JJ Jackson. Thank you and good day.